And the thing I'm trying to make my family happy with is this. It's the Meaco Arete Two, I still can't say it, the Arete Two Dehumidifier and Air Purifier. This is the 12-litre version. I'll talk you through the different versions because this all started last year when I bought the Meaco Arete One dehumidifier, the 18-litre model in Costco. And I did that with my own money, and it was a huge expense for something that essentially sucks water out of the air. It felt like a really big investment, and it is hands down the best thing that we bought last year. Like many homes here in the UK housing stock locks air in, and that kind of leads to mould. And in our house, it was really big patches in really specific places. If you're watching this from somewhere else in the world, I've had really horrible comments pointing out things that I'm pointing out on the videos, which is that the mould grows in cold places, cold, damp places in the house. And wherever you chase it, wherever you create air, open windows, there's still going to be patches in the house of damp collecting and condensating in the colder places of the rooms in the house. We've tried so many things. Well, we tried opening the windows and keeping the heating on for longer. It wasn't getting to the root cause of the problem, which is that there's a lot of moisture in the air in our houses. So when we saw the Meaco Arete One in Costco, and within days it just changed how our house felt. It sucked out all the moisture, and I think it helped dry out the house as well, where for years the walls had been ever so slightly not dry. We were really happy with it, and I made a series of videos, they're down in the description, for the review and instructions for how the Arete One dehumidifier works. But then Meaco saw these videos and got in touch and very kindly said, well, we've got the Arete Two coming, would you like to try model? And I said yes, obviously. I don't know if this is a good idea. Because we had the 18-litre model, I thought, well, what if we try out the smaller model just to compare how things go, what it looks like, as well as to try out the new interface that the Arete Two has. So Meaco have provided this model, but they've not said anything that I need to say at all. They've just said, here's the model, make of it what you will. So this video is just an unboxing and first impressions review. I'm going to do a full review on this. I'll put the link in the playlist in the description if you want more details about the Arete Two. This is purely just a first impressions look at what this model looks like. So come closer, let me give you a tour of what comes out of the box, and already I'm seeing some very, very exciting things. I didn't think that I'd be excited by dehumidifiers, but this has absolutely changed our house, as you'll see in the other videos. But the first thing I've noticed is a much bigger, nice, kind of glassy display panel. The handle is here and you have to lift it. There's a warning sticker on the top here that you do have to lift it from both sides, but already this handle feels even more substantial than the last model, and it locks in place. The thing I'm most excited about though is here, and that's because on the Arete One dehumidifier there's like an open grill to allow all the air to whoosh out. The trouble is, you drop things into it. I've dropped sawdust and wood chips, long story, but you can like accidentally allow things to fall into the model. It looks as if there is, I think this is packing material, because there's a cover for the fan, which looks absolutely fantastic. Already it looks better, but I know that this will stop any debris or dust, just even general dust, falling into the fan. And this is where the Meaco dehumidifier pumps out the fresh, dry, cleaned, purified air. We have a free HEPA filter. Is it HEPA or HEPA? I call them HEPA, don't know why. And we've got some instructions here as well, which is handy. There's a bucket that collects the water. The litres on the model, so this is a 12 litre model. I think that refers to the number of litres per day on a standardised collection measure. So it just indicates the power of the unit. The actual storage capacity is different. I'll put it on screen now. The storage capacity of the water it collects for the 12 litre model. There's an attachment so that you can fit a hose for it to constantly empty into, directly into a drain. We don't do that. We just take the the collection bucket and pour it down the toilet or down the sink. The larger models have a handle, a carry handle. There's like a detector here, so it knows when it's full and the unit stops, so it won't flood. It won't just keep going and flood. So that's a nice touch. And it looks really sleek, doesn't it? It looks tricky because I've got it on a table with slats, but there are castors here, so it does glide around the floor. We use ours on carpet and a wooden floor, and it's really easy to pull around. The 18 litre model is quite a thing to carry up and down the stairs. This, oh yeah, I can lift it with one hand. It'll be easier with two hands. And then at the back, we have the filters. So air is drawn into the dehumidifier at the back here, and I'll slide this filter grill. So there's a fine mesh to stop larger particles of air, and then so that your dehumidifier doesn't gunk up, there's a filter that goes here, so let's fit that now. So this is the HEPA or HEPA filter that comes with the dehumidifier, and that fits into here, and there are two tabs so you can pull the filter out when you need to clean it. And there's some foam around the edge to keep it airtight. We can push that back into the filter holder, and it just slides and clicks. There we go, just slides and clicks into place like that. That is really smart. I like the honeycomb design here. Here are some features that it points out on the box. The MeacoDry Arete Two Dehumidifier and Air Purifier has a premium LCD display, a unique Chase humidity display. It's sleek and unobtrusive. There's a side air intake which allows the dehumidifier to sit discreetly against the wall. We can easily clean the filter from the side without moving the unit. There's the new Meaco app, which allows for control via the app or voice commands. There's a hidden handle with sleek lines hiding a neat carry handle. The large window on the water bucket lets you see the water level clearly. Water can be emptied from both the left and the right side, with oversized ergonomic handles making it easy to remove the water bucket. And there are castors which are hidden behind the feet that help the dehumidifier blend into any room. Another thing to point out down here is that the power cable is 2 meters long, which we find really generous. And there's a special cord thing that you can coil the cord on. So if you have any extra cable, you can store it behind the dehumidifier. We are indoors now to switch on the Arete Two for the very first time. This, by the way, is the Arete One, and you can instantly see the differences between the two dehumidifiers. You can see this is the display that I've lived with for a year, and it's worked really well because it's really simple, but you can already see the improvements that have been made with this big display panel. But let's switch this on for the very first time. I'll go through the quite obvious differences between the Arete One and the Arete Two. The size is different because this is the 18 litre dehumidifier and that's a 12 litre one, so that'll give you an idea of the difference in size with the footprint and the height. But let's switch this on. This is the display panel, so bear with me. I'm assuming this is the on-off switch. We have a timer control as well with this, which I don't think we have with the Arete One. Let's turn it on. Ah, there we go. So I've just hit the power button. It's come on. Now the recommendation is that we lift this flap. Meaco call it a louvre. They love their language, don't they, Meaco? So we've got the Greek of the Arete and the louvre. I'll call it a flap. And it has two open positions. You can open it once. That's quite stylish, or you could go full blown. And I can feel the nice warm air coming out. So this is the display. I'll close it so that I haven't got air blasting into my microphone. I think it's sampling the air. It kind of measures it first and it displays the relative humidity on this scale here. On first impressions, I sort of like just seeing a number. Like when you switch it on, that's the relative humidity just shown as a really simple number. Like it's sampling it, so it's gone up to 52%. I'll turn that off. And here we've got like a sliding scale, so you can see it instantly on this kind of graduated scale. And it says wet on the left-hand side and dry on the right. So we've got the high humidity at the top here, so you see 95 at the top, and where we're actually at, it looks like it's sort of 68%. And you can see that the number 55 has a big ring round it, and I think that is the target humidity. So we are currently here, and the dehumidifier will keep going until the room brings that scale all the way over to 55%. So we can change the target humidity. So the current humidity of the room is here, where this sliding scale is. It will keep going, dehumidifying, until it hits 55%. So I'm going to hit this button here, and this is where we can change the target humidity. So humidity level, oh, this is a really super low-tech explanation as I understand it, is that 100% humidity is like wet, it's like really super humid. 0% is arid dry. So on airplanes, the humidity is actually 20%, which is really dry, and it's why you dehydrate when you fly. And I think for a normal house, I think the recommended target, I mean everyone's got a different opinion, but 55% to 65% is seen as a good thing. We're at about 68% because I'm sat right next to our laundry. I'll talk about laundry in a moment as well, because we use dehumidifiers to dry our laundry now instead of the tumble dryer, and I think we're saving lots of money doing that. That's worked out really well the last year with our Arete One. But you can set your target humidity by just pressing this button here, and it cycles from 70 down each 5% each time, all the way down to 40%. And if I press it again, it goes to this infinity logo, and that means that the dehumidifier will just keep running. However low it goes, it will just stay on. So if you just want it permanently on, that selection there. So I'm going to set it to 55%. And when I say the dehumidifier switches off, it doesn't actually turn off. It's just that the compressor that extracts the water from the air, that turns off. The fan keeps going and the air purifier keeps going. I think if we hold down this button, let's see what that does. Right, so what that's done now is turn the dehumidifier off, but the fan is going, and because of the HEPA filter, that means you can just use this as an air purifier in the summer months, and it's always purifying air when it's dehumidifying as well. Hope that's clear. Hold it down for 3 seconds to put it back into dehumidifier mode. So we're back onto dehumidifying the air. So the heart is the ideal setting. So just as a reminder, it would be better if the humidity of the air were over here, but the actual target that it's aiming for is up here. And it's got the words wet and dry just to make that super clear, so that's kind of cool. We've got the timer button here. Now I've not used the timer button before, and it looks like I can just keep pressing it to set the timer. Over here we have the night button. So if I press this, it goes into night mode, which I believe is a lower fan speed, and the display goes off so it doesn't disturb you. And I think to turn it back on, I'll just press the night button again. There we go. And if you hold it down, you see the padlock comes on. That's a lock on the control panel. So I don't know if you want that for kids. The last button is the laundry button. So for laundry, it goes into high power. I don't know if you can hear that. I can definitely feel that fan has suddenly boosted up to high power. It keeps going for 6 hours. Now we use this for laundry all the time at Arete One. I think I've used laundry mode once, and the main reason for that was if you put it on laundry mode, say at 10 o'clock at night, I don't really want it switching off at 3 in the morning because I want it to continue dehumidifying the room. So it's a really nice feature, laundry mode, but we don't use it. We just keep the dehumidifier on and just dehumidify the room as well as our laundry. But that's just an overview, first impressions of how that's different from the trusty Arete One control panel, which now looks really tiny compared to this lovely display. It's a very exciting moment now because I'll put on screen here, I've downloaded the Meaco app, which again is another new feature of the Arete Two. Device added successfully. So I hit done. There we go. Oh my goodness. So on my phone, I can see the target humidity, which is 55%. Oh, look at that. When I hit the minus button, it changes the target humidity on the dehumidifier. That is incredible. I can increase it as well. It tells me that the water tank is okay and that we're not in the wet range. And if I hit the 3 dots, it shows the different modes. So we have smart humidity, that's just regular dehumidifying. We've got the laundry mode, they call it smart laundry. So you can see the target has changed to 35%. And on the dehumidifier, it's switched to laundry mode on the indicator there. What else? I could put it into night mode. So you can see the display's gone off. The other reason I wanted to get the 12 litre model was to just compare how it looks next to an 18 litre model. So I think the 10 and 12 litre model are this size, this height and footprint. If I go over the two, you can see there is quite a difference in size. The storage bucket underneath, I believe this stores 2.5 litres. This one here stores 4.8 litres, and oh my goodness, it's full. It's been doing really good work today, drying all of our laundry. I'm going to try an experiment now. This is just a quick experiment. It's not very scientific, but I do have a hydrometer from Amazon. I'll put it in the description, and it's saying that we're at 71% in here. So I've brought the 12 litre dehumidifier into her room, and I'm going to leave it here for an hour, and we'll see if this 71 goes down or stays the same, or we'll just see what it does. Let's jump forward an hour. It is now 2 hours later, and let's check the hydrometer. I forgot, I was supposed to be an hour. So it was 71%. It's now, I don't know if you can see this, press the button. Oh, 59% in 2 hours. So it's dropped about 12%. And you can see on here the reading. Well, actually, the reading here says 55. I'll probably go with the Meaco reading, it's being a bit more accurate. So if you're interested in how much the humidity can drop, it's a kind of a regular sized room. The door was closed and my daughter's in here breathing, so that's going to add to the moisture. But thanks for helping me with the experiment. But that is the kind of humidity drop that you can expect with a Meaco dehumidifier that's 12 litres. Something else I've noticed is that it's apart from the nice warm air that comes out from the compressor extracting the water from the air, it's also, I think, really quiet. It's going, I think the fan is on high at the moment, and this is so much quieter than our 18 litre Arete One. It sounds like a low hum. I think this is the kind of very low level white noise that you can sleep with. So if you're looking for a dehumidifier to actually be in the room with you, I'd probably go for more of a 10 or 12 litre model than the 18, 20 or 24 litre models. I am calling this a Dad Delivers success. I've got all my videos about Meaco dehumidifiers down in the description. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up or the subscribe button. It really helps us to keep this channel going. And right here is what YouTube knows you are going to love watching next.